What's up, guys? Joe White here. And if I sound a little bit more lower than usual, it is because it is 3:30 in the morning when I'm recording this. I couldn't sleep. I tend to usually wake up at 3 a.m. for some reason. Like, that's always been, like, my the thing. Like, if I'm going to wake up at night, it's going to be around 3 or 3:30. If you hear something that sounds like a fan or a little bit of background noise, it's because I have a heater here near my desk. It's getting colder. I just opened up my email here, looking at email, and I see my separation packet from support.com, and seems like about a year ago I was filling one of these out yet again. I got hired again by these guys back on the 16th of October, and let me just first preference this by saying, as far as Comcast goes, this has nothing to do with Comcast. It does a little bit, but I can't really blame Comcast as much as I do their vendor, which is support.com. They 2017 has not been a good year for me as far as jobs goes, or as far as jobs go. I've been job hopping, so to speak. And the main reason is just it's burnout, guys. I know that, the whole suck it up buttercup thing, and that, you got to do what's best for your family, but when a certain job, like I've been working in a call center environment going on about 3 years now. I started my very first call center job was with support.com, and it was working for their Comcast, what they call their Comcast tenant or Comcast division, which means Comcast has hired support.com to do customer service for them. When you call in to Comcast, if you have Comcast TV, phone, internet, or home security, chances are you're getting somebody at what they call a vendor or a third-party call center. Very few. The Comcast has a lot of people that they hire directly in their call centers, but most of the time you're getting a vendor. And support.com, excuse me, it's 3 a.m. or 3:30 a.m. I just woke up. So bear with me if I clear my throat. But so you're getting a vendor when you call in. And the first time they hired me, it was for a group called HNS, which stands for Home Networking Support. We were Tier 2. And that means that after you got through with the people in the Philippines, or if you were lucky enough to get somebody that spoke English and they couldn't help you, they sent you to me for your internet issues. It was internet only. And I liked it for 2 years. It was good. But the company gives no raises. There are no raises with that. I was with that company for 2 years, never got a raise. And they're going to argue, well, Joe, you got paid for performance if you were good at your job. But yeah, that's a bonus. That's not a raise that gets tacked on to my hourly rate of pay. That's what I think a raise is. A raise is not extra. A raise to me means if I go from making $10.25 an hour, a raise means I am now making $10.50 an hour permanently. There are no raises at support.com. So if you ever try to go to work for support.com, you're going to make $10.25 an hour for the duration that you work there, because they have no plans whatsoever to give any of their workers a raise. And it doesn't matter what division you work in. So I left because I figured, okay, this was 2016. This was last year, about August of last year. I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and leave. I'm going to go ahead and look for a new job. I have experience now with this. I think I can make more money elsewhere. And I did. I found another company. I'm not going to mention them here, but I found out very quickly that one call center is just as much of a snake as the other, because this new call center, while I was handling still the same thing, doing tech support, they wanted me to do tech support not only for one telecommunications company, but they were going to ask me to do they were going to ask me to do tech support for about 5 other telecommunications companies and still make the same amount of money. So I was going to be doing twice the amount of work for only 50 cents more an hour. It's not worth it. It's just not. A lot of people go, well, Joe, if you're so good at it, you should stay with it. And yeah, I'm good at it. I'm damn good at what I do. I was damn good at what I did at support.com those 2 years that I worked there. I made their paid for performance program, which is the top 70 people in the company that have the best metrics, which is like average handle time, how long you're on the phones. They have a metric there called 7-day repeat at support.com, which is fucking stupid. I hate it. Which means if you call me for your internet, let's say your internet goes down, and I fix it, everything, I ask you, hey, all your other services working okay? Is there anything else we can help you with today? You tell me no, everything's working fine, and maybe everything is working fine. Let's say 6 days later, your TV goes out and you have to call Comcast again. I get hit with that. That goes against me. It's called a 7-day repeat because you've had to call back within 7 days. Even though it's an entirely separate issue than the internet, I get dinged for it because you have called back in 7 days. How shitty is that? Average handle time, they want you to be on the phone for 10 minutes at a call, if that. They want you to keep it under 10 minutes. So all of you who call Comcast and go on diatribes about how horrible the company is, don't speak to your agents about it. They're not able to change any of the rules. They're there to follow policy. They're there to get your issue solved, build a little rapport with you because they think that's good customer service, is to build a little rapport with you because they're going to ask you how the weather is and shit. And when in all reality, we just want to get your shit fixed to get you off the phone. So anyway, I worked there for 2 years, and then I left and pursued other things, and I'll admit it, I've been job hopping. And the main reason why I left support.com wasn't the money, and it wasn't, hey, I have experience. It was the people. Oh my God, these fucking people that call in, these fucking customers, man. Why do you, I don't get this about why you feel the need when your internet goes down to call in and curse someone out that you don't even know. Day after day after day, people calling in, bitching and bitching and bitching and cussing me out like I'm some kind of freaking enemy to them when I don't make your internet go down. It's technology, you idiotic twats. It's like a car. Cars break down every once in a while. With technology, with internet, with Wi-Fi, it's even worse. And here's another thing, you idiots. The company is called Comcast. Their products, they have them bundled now as Xfinity. It's not Infinity, it's Xfinity. Anyway, I could rant on and on about the customers that call into that place. And yes, people sit there and they bitch about Comcast customer service. Comcast customer service is the worst. I gotta wait on the phone for 5 minutes just for them to reset my modem, which I probably could have done myself by just plugging it in, unplugging it, and plugging it back in. Comcast's customer service is bad because the customers fucking suck. They're too goddamn stupid to realize. How long has Wi-Fi been a thing? Since like late 90s? I can remember having wireless internet when I was on DSL back in like 1999, 2000. I'll go a bit further. I first got my first ISP in my name through Verizon. It was DSL, and it was 2002. So it's been well over 10 years. Let's see, 2012, 15 years ago. And people still don't know what a Wi-Fi network is. They still don't know how to connect their devices to a network. They still don't know how to change their network name and password. I know I shouldn't be this harsh, but this is what led me to quit. And but when they're not, when you don't know about something, you call up and curse the person who's trying to help you out because you don't understand? How is that logical, people? We get hired to help you. We're here to help you. We're not here to be a punching bag. We're not here to get cussed out and called names and get told, oh, you don't care. Let me let you in on a little secret. Most customers or most call centers have to require their employees to give what's called an empathy statement, where we fake an empathy statement, which means we try to empathize with you a little bit. I'm sorry your internet stopped working. I definitely realize how frustrating that can be. Let me go ahead and pull up your account so I can try to help you. That's what's called an empathy statement. But get this. No, I don't know how frustrating it could be. Because it's never, it happens very rarely to me. And I'll get to that in a minute too. But yeah, it's fake. Because they like to, it's a fake empathy statement on my part, but the company likes to try to show its customers that we care a little bit. We try to make you feel a little bit better when you call in. Because, yeah, you shouldn't have to call in the first place. Heaven forbid you should pick up your cell phone, open up its browser, and go and Google how to connect to your Wi-Fi network. Well, Joe, and here's the thing I love. My cell phone won't connect to the internet, so how can I fucking Google anything? If you get cell phone signal, at least a 4G signal or 3G, LTE, whatever, you have access to the internet. But Joe, that uses up my cell phone data. And? Sorry, I'm ranting here, folks. I'm rambling and ranting because this is the shit that drove me to quit the first time. Day after day after day. And I know a lot of people are going to go, well, Joe, that's the job. It's the job, but not being able to really say anything about it when these people call in, it wears at you. When it's back to back, day after day after day. So that's part of the reason why I ended up leaving the first time, because it was starting to make me, it got to the point where I would look at my computer. I'd come down to the studio, look at my computer, and my stomach would instantly start hurting, and my head would start hurting. I'd get a headache and a stomach ache at the same time, because I knew all I'm going to do is sit there and be a punching bag for these nitwits for 8 hours a fucking day, and here I am doing it for 2 years, and I haven't gotten a raise, I haven't gotten a thank you, I haven't gotten a hey, you're doing a good job. It would help if the company the company realizes what's going on, but they ain't going to do much because they're getting paid by Comcast to facilitate this. Comcast says jump, support.com, and all the other vendors say how high, because Comcast is paying their bills. I get that. I know this is going to probably make me come off as a whiny little brat, but you know what? I don't care. I had enough 2 years ago. It's getting to the point where it started to make it to where I don't want to leave the house, because you realize how stupid people are in general, and you don't want to fucking goddamn deal with them, so you don't leave your house. It gets to the point where I can't even hardly go to the grocery store without wanting to freaking call people out on how stupid they are. It's done damage, folks. Maybe I need to see somebody about this shit. But I look at it this way. It's, after I left there and after I left the second job, which lasted all of 6 months, it's been me bouncing around from call center after call center after call center, and I've come to the conclusion that I don't want to work with the public anymore. I don't want to work with the public anymore. It's crazy when I'll put it to you this way. It gets crazy when when somebody calls you and their internet is down. Okay? So you fix their internet. You educate them on this is your network name. This is how you go into your device to connect. This is how you go into your device. You go to settings. You go to Wi-Fi. You find this name. You tap on it. It tells you to enter in your password. You put in your password. Boom, you're connected. I once got a call 2 days later from an exact same person that had just called me 2 days ago going, I left the house and came back and now my phone won't connect. You know how that feels like going, so you're hurting my 7-day repeat and I have to talk to you? Because here it is now again, you're having to be walked through the same fucking steps again. Here's a little thing about Wi-Fi, folks. Yes, it's supposed to, but Wi-Fi is radio waves. Sometimes they get distorted. So when you leave the home and come back, your device may not automatically reconnect to it. Oh my God. First world problems. Here's another thing. I don't really like Wi-Fi in general. My computer stays hardwired directly to the back of my modem. Oh, what an archaic thing an Ethernet cable is, right? I know, this is me venting. I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be venting like this. And I like Comcast. I like their products. I've never really had an issue with them until the other day. And it's not that big of an issue to get my panties in a wad calling up and cursing somebody out over it. Yeah, their prices could be lower, but you know what? You get what you pay for. At least I always have. It's the vendors that they work with that I have a problem with. That's why I went down and I applied at my local Xfinity store that they just opened up here in Danville. Why? Because I want to work for the company directly. I don't want to have to go through some middleman who's going to distort the product, who's going to distort the truth, Okay, this leads me into me getting, reapplying for the company. Okay, I needed a job. And I figured, okay, I was pretty good at what I did, so I'll give it another go. It's been a year. It can't be that bad all over again. I'll give it a go, It's like when back in the day wrestlers would leave WWE for 2-3 years at a time and then come back with open arms, ready to give it another shot. Maybe it'll be different this time. Guess what, folks? With support.com, and this has nothing to do with Comcast. This is all support.com stuff. It was worse. They put me in a training class with a woman, with a person who happens to be female. It's not me being sexist, it's me stating facts. This woman, this person, I'll say her name. Her name was Jenny. I ain't going to say her last name because I don't want y'all looking her up if she is out there on social media and, sending her hate. But this woman, when you're a trainer, okay, let me just say this. If I was a trainer and I was in charge of training a class and getting them ready for work, getting them ready for the job ahead, wouldn't you think that a trainer is supposed to know everything about the department? Wouldn't you think that a trainer is supposed to know the hours of the call center or the hours of the department that you're training for? Wouldn't you think that this woman is supposed to know the department like the back of her freaking hand? No, we get told from day one. We don't know what the hours of the call center are. I can't even tell you what the queue is right now because one head doesn't talk to the other at support.com. The training department doesn't talk to the production to let them know what's up, what changes have been made. And another thing about this woman who claims to train us, her attitude fucking sucked. I went in with such a good attitude. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to do this job. I'm going to freaking kick this thing out of the park. I expected to get put back in the home networking support department. No, I got hired for Tier 1, which is the first people you contact if you have a phone or internet issue. We were called NED, Northeast Division Tier 1 is what I got hired for. So when you call 1-800-COMCAST, go to the automated system, and they say, okay, we're going to direct you to a supervisor, chances are it's one of us now. And I applaud Comcast for that. Why? Because nobody wants to talk to people from the Philippines. I don't have anything against people from the Philippines. It's the fact of the matter of people here in America just feel better with somebody who speaks fluent English. It is what it is. If I learn broken Japanese and I go over to Japan, open up a sandwich shop, I don't expect to have a whole lot of customers trusting me. Because guess what? I can't speak fluent Japanese. So I don't know exactly what you're saying when you tell me what you want on your sandwich. Should I be encouraged to learn the language a little bit better? Yeah, but in a call center environment, they teach them very, very broken English. The company teaches them very broken. They hand them a Rosetta Stone and say, here. That's how it works. So I applaud Comcast for bringing jobs back to America. It's going to help your customer service. You've obviously listened to your customers, because when I worked at H&S before in that Tier 2 tenant, the first words out of the customer's mouth usually were, thank God you speak English, or, hey, where are you located? Not going to lie. I fucked with a customer one time and with my southern accent and everything. I told him I was in Costa Rica. He hung up. I laughed. Just shows you how ignorant some people are. But your customers want people who speak English. Your customers want to speak to somebody who's in the USA because, again, how do you build customers' trust when my home in Virginia is being troubleshot by somebody who is in the Philippines, thousands of miles away? It doesn't, Can you see where I'm coming from on that? But anyway, back to this idiot twat of a trainer. The worst attitude out of everybody, and I know people are watching this video going, Joe, your attitude's no better, but trust me when I say that I went into this job, I went into this rehire thinking I'm going to knock it out the park. Joe is back at SDC. I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to make a lot of freaking money. I'm going to keep my family happy. My bills are going to get paid. Everybody's going to, love it. Everybody's going to benefit from it. Support.com is going to benefit from having a good employee. Comcast is going to benefit from having a good vendor. I'm going to benefit because I'm going to be making money again after being unemployed for like 3 months. I'm going to get insurance back, so I'll be able to get my health back in check. Everything was good. Until they saddled me with this idiotic fucking cunt of a trainer. I hate that word. Ladies, I'm sorry if you're offended with it, but there's no other way to describe this woman. She's a fucking cunt. Every single day we would come to class and she would sigh. Good morning. And the times when she tried to sound enthusiastic, it came across as fake. Look, if you don't want to be there, if you don't want to train people, say something. Speak up and say something. I'm sure they'll put you back on the floor taking calls. And the excuse we got for this department of why the lack of information, we'd ask relevant questions, and we get told, I don't know. Why are you training people if you don't know? The department's only been open we've only had this tenant for a month. We ran a beta program for a month beforehand. Okay, here's the thing. If you're opening up a department, I would go to Comcast and go, yeah, we'd be happy to do this for you. We'd be happy to put agents on the floor to do this for you. We're happy to extend our partnership with you to include another department. But we need to get the I's dotted and the T's crossed before we put agents out there. Why do we need to do that? Because A, it helps everybody all around. It helps the company. It helps our agents. It helps support.com. It helps your customers when they call in because they're going to get the best service they could possibly get. Because guess what? If I'm being told I don't know in training, that leads to an I don't know for the customer. Or it leads to me having to go around and put a customer on hold for 5 to 10 minutes at a time to ask a supervisor about a policy that I should have learned about in training. Come on. And I don't blame Comcast for it. I blame support.com for not having this ironed out before they went live with this program. And then the trainer, the trainer would call on my name because I like to participate in training class. I'm not one of those people that just sit back. Plus, I had previous experience with the company, so I knew a lot of shit going in. So I would participate. She'd ask us a question. I'd put my hand up in the webinar, and it got to the point where she would call on me with a sigh in her voice. She'd be like, Joseph, if you don't want to call on me, don't fucking call on me. And if you are going to call on me, be friendly about it. God. Here it is. We're being told how to be good customer service. We're told to put a smile in our voice. We're told to use empathy. We're told to care about our customers. How can you expect me to care when the trainer doesn't give two shits about what she's doing? And when I call her out on it, she laughs and goes, oh, I'm not a good leader. Well, then what the fuck are you doing training somebody? Because to me, the trainer is the ultimate leader. The trainer is supposed to train. It trains people. Come on. Get the fuck out of here if you don't want to be here. I wanted to be there. I wanted to be there. I wanted the job. And then you get told in a call center when you work from home, you're told it's not a substitute for daycare. It's not a substitute for a maid service so you can get your housework done. Your job is to sit there at your desk for 8 hours a day, just as if you were at any other call center. And that's true. I 100% agree with that. But like 3 days ago, we're in class, and she mentions the fact that while we're off in breakout rooms, because they break you off into groups. And with call centers, there's a lot of quote-unquote role-playing and training where one person is the customer, the other person is the agent, and you run through different scenarios. It's the fakest fucking thing in the world, and it doesn't really prepare you for the call center environment, but it gives you the practice of getting your call flow down. So she openly admits that while we're in these breakout groups, she's off doing her laundry. The trainer admits to the fact that she's doing housework while she's working. Shouldn't you be working on lesson plans for if I'm a trainer, okay, they're in breakout rooms, let me monitor the breakout rooms, let me monitor the groups, let me see how they're role playing, and she would do that from time to time, but hey, let me work on my lesson plans. Hey, let me work on questions that I don't have answers for, try to get those answers. I got told so many times I don't know about certain questions, about questions that were relevant to the customer, that I would it got to the point where I would openly ask, what are we supposed to do when we hit the floor? Tell the customer, oh, I don't know, because they never told us in training? I don't know. I got told I don't know so many times, more times in the last 4 weeks than I have in my whole life, I think. And these are just simple questions like, okay, they had something called RGUs, is what Comcast uses, revenue generating units, which means a new line of business. New line of business means if you have TV and phone, it's my job to try to sell you on getting our internet service, okay? The internet service is a type of RGU. One of their RGUs is home security. We don't deal with home security in our department, at least we weren't going to. So we would put a placeholder in the billing system and transfer them to the home security system or home security department, and the Xfinity home department gives you the pitch. So, okay, I sign you up for internet and phone. Let's say, okay, let me put it, this is how screwed up this is. Let's say you have internet service with Comcast. And I fix your issue when you call in. I get you connected to your Wi-Fi. And then I say, hey, I see you have internet service. You already have that phone, that modem. And let's say I pitch you phone service and you like my pitch and you buy phone service and I hook you up a phone service. Okay? So my job is done, but now I mention the home security as well. Okay. So I've just bundled you into a double play with phone and internet. I put a placeholder in a biller system for home security and I transfer you over to home security. Home security is then going to sit there and go, well, we could put you in a triple play with TV, phone, and internet, or internet, phone, and Xfinity Home. And you agreed to it. Well, what this has done is now undid what I've done previously and has taken away what I've just done in the billing system, and it is now reconfigured on the account to a triple play. Knowing how call centers work and how they like to screw up stats on you that you make, I asked the question of, is this going to be taken away from us? Is this now taking an RGU away from us? Because now this company has undone what we did. You've undone the double play and turned it into a triple play. And in the billing system, it reconfigures everything. Even though you're getting the same two services, it's a whole new ball game. And I would ask, is this going to hurt our stats at all? I don't know. I says, well, I asked her by this point, we're week 4, and I asked the woman, I says, well, can you ask somebody and find out before we hit the floor? And then, a few hours later, I get pulled into a breakout room, or a meeting, by myself with me and the trainer. And she goes, I just want to make sure you understand everything, and if all your questions have been answered. Says, no, all my questions aren't answered. Here it is, you say we have to sell people, we have to do a sales pitch on every call, so get used to that. If you're a Comcast customer and you don't have all their services, oh, you're going to be pitched to the moon. And rightfully so, it's good business. I'd want you to have all my services too if I were Comcast. I said, you haven't really been clear on this sales metric and how it's going to hurt us. Are you going to fire me if I go a month without selling anything? You say we're repair, but we have to make a sales pitch on every call. I says, I want to know if I go a month or two without selling anything, I want to know that my job is still going to be here because it's my livelihood. She goes, well, if you're going to ask questions like that, I prefer you not do it in front of the class because it's toxic to the class. I'm rolling my eyes while I'm saying this and sitting there going, okay. In my head, I'm sitting there going, you fucking cunt. These are questions we should be asking. How is it toxic? We get back into the main room after she pulls me aside, and I'll be damned if the first question, she goes, okay, anybody got any questions before we move on? And I'll be damned if the first question that isn't asked is the exact same question that I've just asked her in the breakout room about, hey, if we go a month or two without making a sale, are we going to get fired? Obviously, it's not toxic. It's not a toxic question if I'm not the only one with these thoughts in my head. I'm just the only one that's got balls enough to say it first. You fucking miserable twat. Toxic environment. Anyway, on Thursday morning, my internet went down. My modem went down. It happens. I had that modem for 2 years. It happens. They're like cars. Only this piece of technology is constantly running because the modem stays on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 a year. I don't know of anybody that unplugs their modem when they go to bed at night. That's the beauty of internet, is that it's constantly connected. So your cable modem is constantly on. When something is constantly on, running for that amount of time, for that time period, it's going to break down eventually. Nothing lasts forever in technology. So my internet goes down. It's nothing I can control. My modem is resetting itself. The modem is what we call bricked, which means it's dead. Their attendance policy for training states that you cannot miss one day. If you miss one day of training, you're fired. Hell, even if you miss 2 hours of training consecutively, you're fired. I get the attendance policy, and you know what? For that kind of training, you do have to be there every day. But here it is. I'm already halfway through week 4, and my shit goes down. It's nothing I can control. I even get a receipt from Comcast saying, yes, Joe came in here today to swap out his modem. And they don't care. Because it's policy. And you know what? Like I said, I get the policy. But shit does happen. Could you make an exception? You know, give us at least one day. Realize that, shit like that, if I have I'm not bullshitting you if I have a receipt that says, yes, I went and swapped out the modem. Why would I go swap out the modem if it was working? I'd be in class working if it was working. So they fire me anyway. That combined with the fact that the trainer was such a damn twat that she couldn't slap her ass with both hands. The blind was leading the blind. In a way, I was kind of relieved to be fired by that company again, because I probably would have ended up quitting again anyway. So that's where I'm sitting at right now. I know, I just went on a big old rant, and a lot of people are going to be like, Joe, get your head out of your ass. You're right. To a certain extent, you're probably right, but I would never, ever, if I owned a call center, I would never, ever launch a program or launch a tenant or launch a division without having all my I's dotted, my T's crossed. Just simple shit like how long the call center's open. It took us 3 weeks before the trainer could get information and tell us that our department was open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Pacific. 3 weeks into the training before finding that out? And we're not the first class from this department. From what she told me, she had trained 3 other classes before us, which means 15 weeks of training, and she's just now finding out the call center in hours? That's how basic it was, folks. That's how stupid it was, folks. Let's talk some wrestling here. And again, that was not a knock on Comcast. I've been a Comcast customer for I don't know how long now. Well over 5 years. I love their service. That's probably maybe the second time in 5 years that a modem has gone bad on me. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good track record. So Comcast, if you're listening to this, thank you. And when I walked into the Xfinity Center, when I walked in and were greeted by employees who work directly for the company and not some third-party vendor like Support.com, I was treated with dignity. I was treated with class. They have really good employees in there, and I hope they hire me because I'm sorry. I want to work for them. I want to work for Comcast. I just don't want to go through a third-party middleman to do it. I'll put it to you this way. Everybody who works directly for Comcast probably 90% of them, I would say, get free perks. They get free internet, free phone, free service, whatever, free TV. Support.com, we got nothing. I don't blame them for that, but it's like, I want to work for the company directly because I like the company and its values and its and 90% of its practices. What I don't like is the way their vendors operate. Well, Joe, they're told to operate that way. Not for this shit. Not for the trainer not knowing the material. It makes Comcast look like crap. It really does. But let's talk some wrestling here. I want to talk about Ethan Alexander Sharp. If you're watching this for the first time and don't know who Ethan Alexander Sharp is, you need to go to CWFworldwide.com. It's going to take you to the CWF Mid-Atlantic YouTube page. You need to go and watch episode 130 of CWF Mid-Atlantic Worldwide TV. There's a promo that I covered Wednesday on the official unofficial CWF Mid-Atlantic After Show, which looks to be staying on Wednesdays, folks. There's a promo, wonderful promo by Ethan Alexander Sharp, where he talks about, I had my Iron Man record, that was all I had because I lost focus. Because I spent the summer playing grab ass with a woman instead of focusing on my career. And I dressed up like Andy Kaufman, a long dead comedian, and was playing grab ass with a woman. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this. Maybe I should be keeping this to myself, but I'm going to say it anyway. And if it ruffles feathers, I apologize ahead of time, but me being a podcaster and me being an opinionist and giving my opinion on something, that it's what I do. So it's what I'm going to do here. That promo was awesome. And there's a reason why that promo was awesome. Because it's reality. It's a little bit of, they weaved a little bit of, a lot of the truth in there. I'll leave it to you to pick apart what parts are truth and what parts aren't. I know what parts are true. Sometimes I wish I didn't know, but I do. I'll just say that, how do I say this? I interviewed somebody a few months ago that gave me a great interview, and I hold no ill will towards them. It's not my place to hold ill will towards anybody in the professional wrestling business, because I have a profound respect for anybody who steps through those ropes and takes bumps or is a part of the business. But a lot of what Ethan said in that promo was true. It was true. I mean, and the truth, they say the truth hurts. Well, for Ethan Alexander Sharp's character, the truth does hurt. And for Ethan Alexander Sharp's character, I think that truth needed to be told in the promo. Because it made Ethan Alexander Sharp's character go, what the fuck was I thinking? My actions, my playing grab ass with a woman and dressing up like a long dead comedian led to me losing my record. It led to me losing my spot. And now I got to regain all that. And he's done a damn good job of trying to regain it. Because I'll put it to you this way. Maybe that shred of truth, maybe that playing grab ass with that woman, maybe getting his feelings hurt a little bit, for lack of a better term, has led to the fire being reignited. Maybe it's led to why we've seen this better, faster, stronger Ethan Alexander Sharp. Maybe that's why we've led to a complete, in my eyes, a complete fucking character change over the last month or two. I'll say 3 months. I'll go all the way back to August. And I like it. Sometimes you got to get, sometimes you got to go through shit just to be able to go through the car wash and come out clean, If you didn't drive through a little mud every now and then, there'd be no need for the car wash. There'd be no need to go out clean. There'd be no need to, reconfigure yourself and get a fresh start. And I like the fresh start that Ethan Alexander Sharp has been doing the last few months. I really do. He's a hell of a heel. Turned into a hell of a worker. And he's a damn good promo to boot. Do I think he's surpassed the rich boy character? Do I think that gimmick has kind of weaned itself out here? Yes, to a certain extent it has. It's not as strong as it used to be. But he doesn't need it as long as his in-ring work is showing it. And his promos are showing it. Yeah, we know that it's Moneyball. We know he's got money as a character. But I think it's helped him. I really do. I just think everything that's gone on, sometimes shit that goes on in your personal life can help you in your professional life, even if it is bad. That's all I'll say on it. I want to talk a little bit also about Trevor Lee. I see a lot of people online, especially this past week since Bound for Glory has gone on. Excuse me, I gotta take a drink here. I see a lot of people who praised Trevor Lee's work. And whenever I see somebody bash or praise Trevor Lee's Impact work, and I'll preface this by saying I'm not a fan of how Impact books him. His work rate, I will never, ever, ever bash Trevor Lee's work rate because it's always top-notch in my opinion. I don't think he's ever had a bad match, except for when the booking has been shit, like it has been the entire time he's been in TNA. I'm happy that he's in TNA. I'm happy he's getting money. I'm happy that he's getting his name out there. But my God, whenever I see somebody mention him on Impact, whenever I see somebody on Twitter go, Trevor Lee in Impact is really good, I always tag CWF Mid-Atlantic and I go, watch him here because he's better. And then you have the one guy who goes, and PWG. I've never been to a PWG show, but here's how I look at it when it comes to Trevor Lee and PWG. Yeah, let's put it this way. You got him in... I'm going to use the fruit analogy. You got him in TNA, and you got him in, which is like your apples. You got him in, or I'll put it this way. You got him in CWF. That's your apples. You got him in PWG. There's your oranges. And then you got him in TNA, and that's your grapefruit. It's like 3 different versions of Trevor Lee, in my opinion, as far as booking goes. Impact is one thing. He's been booked as this cult of Trevor, and he was a goofy boy who hung around with the Hardys for a while, and I don't like the way he's been booked there storyline-wise. I really don't. Because when you have him in bad storylines and you have booking that it just doesn't allow Trevor to be Trevor. Not like he is in CWF. And I know to a certain extent he's never going to be the same Trevor that he is up here, but I guess because I'm so spoiled that it sours it for me to see him booked like that. When I know that, he could be booked in his home state 10 times better and not have to travel and, Anyway. The money may not be the same, but you guys get what I mean. And then he goes over to PWG, and we get a different Trevor. We get the non-episodic Trevor, who goes out there and works his ass off just to have a good match. Because to me, PWG is non-episodic. It's matches for the sake of matches. They're there because, oh my God, Dave Meltzer shows up, so we got to pop him every week. It's going to ruffle feathers, maybe. You're wrong about that PWG, Joe. Stupid Mark. Look, I'm all for the flippity flu when it makes sense. To me, just doing it for the sake of doing it doesn't make any sense. So that's what I think. Whenever I see some, and I will gladly promote CWF Mid-Atlantic whenever somebody goes, Trevor Lee is so good. Yeah, he's okay in Impact. He's good in Impact. He's good in PWG, but golly, is he even better in CWF? He's from a storytelling aspect, from a work rate aspect. I think he's better. It looks like they're building, switching gears here, it looks like they're building toward Nick Richards versus Kane Justice for Battlecade, which is a freaking phenomenal match. It is freaking phenomenal, man. That match is going to freaking tear the house down. If both of those guys could go into it healthy, let me put that point. Because from what I understand, Kane Justice is legit having knee issues right now. I don't know how banged up or beat up Nick Richards is. He did take the majority of the latter half of the summer off before returning into the Rumble, so you don't know how healthy he is. But he is wrestling other places. In fact, I'm going to go see him on a show tomorrow, Jimmy Harris's show. Going to go see that tomorrow in Burlington, North Carolina. Amazing card for it, too, man. Amazing card for this benefit show for Relay for Life. But it's going to be interesting to see if we get a good, healthy Kane next month. You know, they've been keeping him out of the ring ever since the Rumble. They've been having him cut promos and do commentary and stuff like that, which is good because it keeps him there in the public eye and it keeps his character. That promo was actually very good. It keeps him in the public eye, keeps his character relevant without him working, because he can't work right now, from what I understand. So I think that the Nick Richards Kane Justice match has the potential to be probably the show stealer for Battlecade. That's my dark horse show stealer for Battlecade right there, man. It's going to turn some heads. It's going to widen some eyes. It's going to get definitely oohs and ahs, and it's going to further elevate both of those men. Nick Richards has been doing it a long time. What better way to make Kane Justice even further? You know, he was made at the Rumble by Trevor Lee, but now he has to continue on that path. And it's got to continue with Nick Richards. Even if Nick wins, I know it's going to make Kane look good. It's going to make both those guys look good. Because Nick Richards right now, to me, in CWF right now, he's not really... I mean, granted, he's only been back for maybe, one show. So I'm not going to say he's floundering just yet. But it's going to be curious to see what they do with him after Ultimate Survivor and after Battlecade if that match with Kane goes down. So that's what they got. I think that's where they're going with those two. I hope that's where they're going with those two. The RGL title. I'm telling you right now, folks, Mike Mars is winning the Rising Generation League title at Battlecade. There's no other way around it. And I couldn't be happier because I like me some Mike Mars. I like his work. I like his style. His look is awesome for that monster heel look. It's freaking great. The main event of Battlecade obviously is probably going to be Chet versus Trevor, unless they do something with C.W. Anderson going down the line. I don't know. Part of me wants the C.W. Anderson versus Trevor Lee feud to continue, but a lot of that hinges on their interactions with each other at Ultimate Survivor. Because I'll be honest with you, when he cut that promo, I didn't know if it was going to be the one-on-one or the team versus team match, and they're going the team versus team route. But all this makes me want to do is see those two go one-on-one and put both their belts on the line, maybe, to where somebody's a double champion. that's what I want to see, it's probably not the route they're going. So yeah, that's a little bit about CWF there. I've gone on way too long. I'm sorry for my 39-minute diatribe on support.com and my job situation. I have to vent. I had to vent, folks. I want to kind of do a weekly CWF show that is not worldwide related, kind of, per se. Like, I want to do something that's not an after show, but that is talking about CWF, where I have different guests come on every week and talk a little bit about the promotion, and maybe have workers come on. That's going to be, interviewing people is going to be a little bit farther out because of the fact that right now my Skype numbers and my Skype subscription and everything is down, which I'm going to get that renewed hopefully this month and stretch that out for 3 months. So that'll get me through the first of the year with it. Not having a job right now means I don't have money, which means I can't afford luxuries like that because I don't make a living off of this. I wish I did. Trust me, if I could make a living off YouTube and off doing podcasting, I wouldn't be ranting and raving about trainers who don't know their jobs. I'd be fucking doing this every day. But yeah, I'm excited to go to the Harris show tomorrow. I'm excited to go to CWF the following weekend. I get to go to wrestling 2 weekends in a row, so that makes me smile. I wish things had gone better at this job because I really went in optimistic. I went in with a good attitude. I was not happy about working with the public because I never am anymore, but it's one of those things where it's kind of become a necessary evil. I'm going to have to talk to people for a living, unless something magical comes along and makes it to where I don't. But I would, it's just one of those things where, I went in with a full head of steam, ready to conquer the world, and I had a brick wall put up in front of me by the people who want me to conquer the world. So, but yeah, that's what's been going on. I'm sorry again. It's now 4:30 in the morning almost. I'm going to try to go get some more sleep. I want to thank you all for watching, listening to me rant for the last hour. We got some CWF talk in there too. I like that. I want to see what Ethan Alexander Sharp is doing going forward. I want to see that after the Dirty Daddy drops that title to Mike Mars, which very well may be happening, unless it's Cam Carter too. You could throw Cam Carter in there. He's RGL, and he's done a hell of a job these past couple months. Is Cam Carter RGL? Answer that question for me down below. I think he is. Whoever Dirty Daddy drops the title to, I'm curious to see what they do with him afterwards. Because here's a guy who needed, let's face it, the Showtime thing was a flop, kind of. To me it was. I never liked it. I liked Dirty Daddy and Snooty Fox both separately. So they put the RGL title back on the Dirty Daddy, and I think they had to do that. Otherwise, that character was going to flounder. So I'm curious to sit here and see who he drops it to. What kind of match he's going to have good matches, and I'm curious to see what happens to him after this RGL title reign, because this is his last year, I think, being able to be a part of that division. So it's curious to me where they're going with this, and it's exciting to me where they're going with this. It's exciting to be able to sit here and ponder these things and worry about these things. I don't think about WWE booking anymore. I think about CWF booking. What does Stutzy have up his sleeve? What does Grant have up his sleeve? Because something tells me we ain't seen nothing yet. I'm curious to see where this Eric Andrews thing, hashtag choose Andrews. Curious to see where the Eric Andrews thing goes. I'm curious to see. Part of me wants Jerry Carey's title reign or Jerry Carey's team to win and him to become the host of Worldwide, because then you could do, and I love me some CL Party. Putting over CL Party. Rule number 1 must be obeyed. But I would like to see I would like to see CL Party in little, like the vignettes where she's like Cinderella at the beginning of Cinderella. She's having to scrub floors and do shit for her stepsisters. So I would love to see CL Party vignettes where she's doing like concession stand work, and she goes to hand somebody their nachos, and all of a sudden they accidentally get the nachos knocked out of her hand, and she gets covered in cheese sauce. And you could do funny shit like that. You could do funny shit like her, getting towels together in the locker room, and having them thrown on her, shit like that. It's not and I know, oh man, I can hear it now. That's degrading to women, Joe. No, it's funny shit, and it would be so damn hilarious to me. But also, you'd have some sympathy for the character too, because CL Party is above that. We know CL Party's above that. We know she's a damn good host of Worldwide. So then you have another branching story arc of that, of how does she get her throne back, so to speak? How does she get her spot back? It's an idea. It would make for some good TV. Maybe she's carrying Eric Andrews' bag into the arena or something. We see her carrying bags and shit. It would totally be. I think they could go so many places with it if she loses, because they've set this thing up to where the All-Stars have nothing to lose here, and CL Party has everything to lose. So when you set it up like that, I think to me logically, if I'm booking and I set it up to where one person only has something, there's only one person with something to lose, then naturally that person has to lose. Otherwise, what was it for? The All-Star, what are you going to say? Well, she humiliated the All-Stars and put Jerry Carey in their place. That happens every fucking night just about that the All-Stars work, so it's nothing that we haven't seen before. Then you got that XYZ route, the later route of maybe this starts a CL Party heel turn because she's been put in that spot. And because she has those vignettes. And yes, oh man, you people caused me to lose my spot. You were all behind me, and when I lost my spot, then you did nothing but laugh on me while I'm working concessions and doing grunt work around here, I turned into a gopher. I'm not a gopher. I'm CL fucking Party. I'm above that. And all you people laughed at me while this was going on. I thought I had your sympathy when I lost. No, then all you did was turn around and laugh at me. All you did then was come up and slam your dollar down on the counter so I could hand you your Coca-Colas. Because all you want to do is sit here and watch wrestling and get fat. Oh, man, I could so see heel promos out of that. I could so see it, folks. It would be so kick-ass, but at the same time, does it make sense for her? I don't know if I'd book it that way, but if they did, it's easy for me to sit here and with my arm, sitting here in my chair and my microphone and go, that would be fucking awesome to see CL turn on the people. How many fucking Cokes do you people need every damn show? You say you're only here for 2 hours. Do you really need to down 3 of them? Come on. Do something like that. Now, obviously not those words because you can't curse. Have somebody come up to the concession saying, do you really need that other piece of pizza? I don't think you do. And then at the same time, you have Stutzy commentary going, she's costing us money, for crying out loud. Give them what they want. Shit like that. You can go so many places with this. And that's why I'm so glad, because here's the thing. If this were to happen in WWE, they'd muck it up and people would bash the fuck out of it. I'm telling you right now. And hell, I'll put it to you this way. If it was booked the exact same way, people would bash it because, they're taking focus off the wrestlers and giving it to managers and hosts. It fits. What if CL Party turned heel and it became a member of the All-Stars? Holy shit. That would be fucking crazy. To me, it just strengthens. It's another angle. It strengthens the whole program. It gives you an entertainment aspect that sometimes CWF lacks. Because I think they realize that good matches, quote-unquote 5-star matches, can only take you so far. I don't think they want to become a PWG. They're not PWG, thank God. I like storytelling along with my wrestling, if you want to call it wrestling. It's wrestling. I like storytelling with my wrestling. I like a little bit of Gaga thrown in there every now and then, and this is just their chance to throw a little Gaga in there every now and then. I like it. I hope they do more with it. As long as it doesn't oversaturate the rest of the product and you know, maybe it could blend in with the rest of the product. You have Jerry Carey host Worldwide. You have him doing backstage interviews on Worldwide, and maybe Jerry Carey is sitting there doing maybe if CL Party's team loses, which I think logically has to happen. Come on. It has to happen. She's the only one, again, she's the only one with something to lose. So logically, if I'm booking this and I'm telling a story, if I put somebody into a corner where they have everything to lose and the other team has nothing to lose but everything to gain, the heels should win here. I'm sorry, it's just the way it is. The heels, to me, should win. Because what's going to the All-Stars also, after the Rumble, the All-Stars need a win. Got to get their heat back. And what better way? And this is going to be heat magnet. Because, God, I can totally see it now. Jerry Carey's in the locker room. He's interviewing Kane Justice, or he's interviewing the Dirty Daddy, or somebody, even if it's a babyface. He's interviewing Eric Royal, and you see CL Party. Maybe she puts on that Grant Sawyer jumpsuit from the 80s episode. Oh, man. I'm sorry, CL. I love you. But this would be so fucking funny to me. It'd be so great. And it's so sympathetic. I'd cry at the same time because I know you're above it. But from a booking standpoint, I'm sitting there laughing because it's just great TV. He's interviewing somebody, and you all in the background, just off in the background, you casually see CL Party mopping a floor. And she's wringing out the mop. And at the end of the promo, you know, Jerry Carey sitting there going, "Thank you, Kane. Good luck tonight." Kane walks off out of frame, and Jerry Carey just casually looks back and goes, "You missed a spot. Fade to black." And CL, because CL has good facial reactions, because CL is really actually good at selling shit naturally, she gets that look on her, that disgusted look on her face, and maybe she does the classic thing where she, you know, blows the bangs out of her eyes and is getting more and more frustrated. And instead of leading it to a classic babyface turn, maybe she fucking turns heel out of this. I don't know. There's so many places you can go with it. It's just, and just that's the shit I think about, folks. Now, welcome to my world, because now I know you're thinking about it too. I'm going to leave it there. I talked a little bit of CWF, talked a little bit of crap about my personal life. I probably shouldn't have sat in here ranting and raved, but they wanted proof from the electric company that said my modem was going in and out, folks. That's what they wanted. I'm like, my electric company's not going to provide you proof of that. They won't even provide me a proof of anything. I hope I directly get hired from Comcast, and I'm going to do so good that I hope that they don't need vendors anymore. Because right now I want nothing more than to see support.com go out of business. It's just what I want. Anyway, I'm going to get off my soapbox and back into my bed. It's 4:30. Going back to bed, folks. We'll see you down the road.